Summer is ending and it is time to get ready to go back to school. For some people, a new backpack with your favorite cartoon character or a notebook with your favorite sports team can mean a lot. But not all families can go out and buy their kids the coolest and newest school supplies to start off the new year. We, here at Pro Wrestling Unlimited, are looking to raise money for families in need and help their children get ready for the new school year. No child should start out the new year feeling like they're already behind because their families can't afford everything that they need. We do appreciate if you guys can help donate to our cause. Even $1, even sharing our GoFundMe does help in some way. With our donation, we are looking to buy backpacks, pens, pencils, notebooks, and more. Also, a portion of the money raised will actually go towards buying new shoes for kids who do need them to start off the school year. Please head over to pwunlimited.net/helpkids to donate today. Thank you in advance for helping out our cause and helping get kids ready for school.
Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we are here on the 13th of August 2019 to talk about Smackdown Live. Tonight's Smackdown Live was pretty good. Well, I thought the main event was good, and Buddy Murphy versus Roman Reigns just absolutely killed it. I thought that match was great. But other than that, I don't know where they're going with this Roman Reigns thing with him and Rowan and Daniel Bryan, because they got Buddy Murphy to say that he lied and this and that. I have no earthly idea where the hell this is going to lead to. I mean, you would think in the end it was Daniel Bryan and Rowan, but then Buddy Murphy, I don't know. Let's see who's with us in the live chat, though. We do have Wrestle Geek, who is using our new F in the chat emojis. And if you want to be able to use an emoji like Wrestle Geek is, you can do so by becoming a member. All you have to do to become a member of the PW Unlimited YouTube channel is hit that join button right down below. Becoming a member gives you access to early access to content that we will be putting out. So should be fun. Again, thank you guys who are members already. Also, a perk of being a member, your name will scroll at the bottom of the screen on every Raw, Smackdown, and Wednesday show live stream. We also have got Nelson, Jason Dalton, Chris Jericho, Antonio Banks, Fully Clutch. What's going on, everybody? So, like I said, Smackdown, not a bad show tonight. There was some really good stuff. But then there was some mess stuff. I thought it was better than Raw. I will admit that. I thought the show tonight was better than last night's Monday Night Raw. So, Nombre Apelido keeps saying Spanish in the chat. Nah, I only speak English, buddy. English? I don't even know how it would be. Sinclair Saturdays says, hey Tim, which heel superstar winning the Kingdom? Why does it have to be a heel? It could be a babyface. I think it should be Drew McIntyre. Just saying. Nombre, if you spam the chat again, then I'm going to have to time you out. George John Cox, as I just said, yes, I thought SmackDown was a little better than a Raw this week. Chris Jericho in the chat says, I just felt in my wrestling. What? I don't understand. Eric Tate says, good show tonight. So, SmackDown started off with Kevin Owens coming out. Kevin Owens came down to the ring, and he was talking about SummerSlam and everything that did take place there. And so, with that, he's thanking the crowd for being behind him. It's his hometown crowd, which really it's not because he's from Marysville, Quebec, even though they were in Toronto. Loud Kevin Owens chants, though. He noted that yesterday marked the 5th anniversary of him signing with the WWE. He's made amazing memories over the past 5 years, he said, because he's in the ring with some of the best wrestlers in the entire industry. Owens would then go on to say that he got to share the moment at SummerSlam with his entire family. His wife, kids, mother, father were all at ringside watching him beat up and kick Shane McMahon's ass. He noted Shane's ass wasn't the only thing he kicked. Even though the kick felt great, he'll never forget hitting that stunner on Shane McMahon right in the middle of the ring. Sorry for that. Owens noted that he's behind him. Owens noted that's in the past. It's behind him. And now he's got his sights set on something else. King of the Ring. He said, as a fan, he's always wanted to be in this tournament. He noted that the past winners like Kurt Angle, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, he was all fans of all of them, and now he wants to put his name right alongside them. But Shane McMahon ended up coming out. Shane McMahon walked out on the ramp, and the fans chanted at him saying, asshole. He showed footage from SummerSlam of Owens giving him a low blow. He said that that's deplorable by Owens. Fans chanted, you deserve it. McMahon then called Owens a cheater and not a real man. McMahon threatened Owens and teased walking down to the ring, and then he said, I better not. He said, Owens, you will be in action later on today. It's not going to be against me. He then showed footage of Owens attacking Elias with a chair at SummerSlam and stated that Elias was an official. Elias was not a wrestler on that night. You know that Elias has the day off, and the 24/7 title, the 24/7 rule is suspended. McMahon then stated, for putting your hands on an official, you have been fined $100,000. Fans broke into a brief, boring chant. Owens was furious, saying that this will not just hurt him, but his whole family. He said fining him $100,000 will take food off of his children's table and hurt them from going to college. He would then go on to ask McMahon to reconsider, and Shane looked right into the eyes of Owens as well as he could from the top of the ramp and goes, nope. They then announced later in the night, we will get the New Day versus the Revival. Kevin Owens then furiously got out of the ring, walked into Shane McMahon's office. McMahon promised to suspend him if he put a finger on him. He said, I'm not here as a wrestler tonight. I'm here as an authority figure. You put your hands on me, I will not just fine you. I will sue you for everything you have. So Owens says, you want $100,000? How about this? And he grabbed like a little end table and he threw it right into the TV in Shane's office. So the next up, we got Charlotte Flair versus Ember Moon. Flair had the early advantage, but Moon fought back. Fans broke into a Let's Go Charlotte, Charlotte sucks chance. Flair rolled to the floor and taunted Ember Moon. Moon attempted to dive, but Flair caught her with a forearm. Moon knocked Flair off the apron and hit a crossbody to the floor. Flair recovered and threw Moon back first into the apron. After commercial break, Flair was firmly in control. She attacked the leg and tried the figure 4 leg lock, but Moon fought back. Instead, Flair applied a Boston Crab, and the fans started chanting for Y2J. At one point, Charlotte even did the Tranquilo pose, homage to her boyfriend, Andrade. Moon fought back, on one leg, of course. She caught Flair with a boot for a near fall. Moon then hit a code breaker off the bottom rope for another near fall. She climbed to the top, but Flair grabbed her by the hair and pulled her off. Flair missed a charge into the corner, and Moon rolled her up for a 2. Flair then hit the big boot, locked on the figure 8. Ooh, there you go. Charlotte's victorious. So backstage, Daniel Bryan and Rowan were said to be... Well, first, this was weird. They were like, Roman Reigns wants answers. He wants to know who's behind these attacks. He wants to know if it is Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Roman Reigns next. Something like that. And then all of a sudden they show Daniel Bryan and Rowan. And they're like, Daniel Bryan and Rowan are coming out here next. I'm like, so Roman's going to come out and they're going to come out? So they recap the entire angle. And the one thing that so is the stupidest from this whole thing, there is a shot of the car hitting Roman's SUV. And there is a goddamn bumper cam. Fucking bumper cam. On the car that hits Roman's. So just ask whoever got the footage. Hey, who'd you get the footage from? Who'd you talk to put the camera on there? Who'd you talk to get the camera off of there? Fucking A. So Daniel Bryan and Rowan walk onto the ramp. Fans broke into a Daniel Bryan chant briefly. Bryan said that he and Rowan had nothing to do with either of the attacks. He said he had nothing to do with it, and Buddy Murphy is a liar. He noted he doesn't blame Buddy Murphy, though. He said anyone would have lied in the same situation. He said anybody that had their face caved in, like Roman Reigns had on Buddy Murphy last week, up against a wall, would just throw out any old name just to get it to stop. Bryan said that Murphy gave the wrong name, though, and the fans chanted, "It was you." And Bryan, God, he is a professional because he took this chant, not knowing they were going to chant this. Fans are just chanting, "It was you. It was you. It was you." And he goes, "You think it was me?" The fans popped with the yes chant. He said that he hates to disappoint the fans, but he had nothing to do with it. Bryan's fucking great. He promised to prove their innocence by the end of the night. Sarah Schreiber walked into Shane McMahon's office. She said, "Shane, you said that Owens is going to have a match tonight. Well, who's it going to be against?" Samoa Joe would then show up. He said, "Hey, you got a problem with Kevin Owens? He thinks he's the badass around here? I'll show him who a badass really is." And Shane then said, "Okay, Kevin Owens versus Samoa Joe tonight." So Aleister Black cut another promo from his closet. He said he's looking for his next opponent, and all they have to do is knock. This bullshit again. Yeah, Cesaro knocked, but fucking no one else is going to want to knock? Like, who's going to knock? Johnny Gargano coming from NXT? Then, with this, came the match of the weekend. The best WWE match of the entire weekend. Better than anything on Raw. Better than anything at SummerSlam. We got frickin' Roman Reigns versus Buddy Murphy. I expected maybe a 10-minute match and Roman just wrecks him. No. Boy, did Buddy Murphy look like a goddamn star. Buddy Murphy was made tonight and then killed at the same time. All in the same night. Oh, this was an amazing, great match. Reigns hit Murphy with a right hand and tossed him across the ring. Really at the start of the match. Murphy quickly recovered and rocked Reigns with a knee for a near fall. They fought around ringside near the announce table. Reigns then tossed Murphy over the announce table. Reigns missed a drive-by and Murphy shoved him into the steps. After commercial break, Murphy was firmly in control and applied a chin lock. Reigns fought back and hit a powerbomb only for a 2. He rocked Murphy with clotheslines in the corner and followed up with a big boot. Reigns attempted the Superman punch, but Murphy avoided it. Reigns went shoulder first into the ring post. Murphy rolled him up for a 2. Murphy sent Reigns to the floor and followed up with a huge flip dive. Murphy hit a Meteora for a close near fall. He hit a super kick, but Reigns recovered and hit a Superman punch. Again, only a near fall. Reigns attempted the spear, but Murphy hit a kick. 3 knees and a brain buster for a very 2 3/4 fall. Murphy then climbed to the top rope, but Reigns rocked him, knocking him to the floor. Reigns hit a Superman punch off the steps on the floor. He then hit a spear in the ring, basically hit that spear. Buddy Murphy flipped inside out. And there you go. Roman Reigns wins. Awesome match, and Buddy Murphy looked like a star coming out of this match. After the match, Roman Reigns looks over at Buddy Murphy, shakes his head like, good one. So after a commercial break, Kayla Braxton interviewed The New Day. No, she interviewed The Revival first. I apologize. She wondered, why are you guys coming here to SmackDown to challenge them? Challenge The New Day, that is. They said last night, in our tag team match against Lucha House Party, it was interrupted by the 24/7 championship. And yes, we got caught up in the moment. We became co-24/7 champions. But we took that as a slap in the face, not just to us, but the entire tag team division. Who else is a slap in the face to the tag team division? That's The New Day, running around, throwing pancakes, shaking their butts, and playing video games. So tonight, we want to challenge them to a match. So after the commercial break, Kayla then interviewed The New Day. She said, hey, what do you guys think of The Revival saying you've ruined the tag team division? They talked about how they've brought life into the tag team division, how they've, brought this division to prominence. They've made it a main event thing. And then she asked Kofi, why'd you attack Randy Orton with a kendo stick at SummerSlam? Kofi said, well, some may have said that I went too far, but I didn't. He said, I did what I have to do, and I'd do it again. And he said that he would be in the corner of Xavier and Big E later on tonight. So then, we then got Samoa Joe versus Kevin Owens. Before the match, they announced, hey, Elias is here. He's a special enforcer. Even though he was supposed to have the night off, special enforcer. So Owens had the advantage early, but Elias distracted him. Joe took over. Back from the break, Joe was firmly in control and slowed down the pace. Owens caught Joe with an elbow and off the second turnbuckle. No, Owens caught Joe with an elbow and a dropkick off the second turnbuckle. He followed it up with a swanton or a senton, whatever you want to call it. It's a swanton in my book. It was just like Jeff Hardy, basically. But the announcers call it a senton. Only got a 2 count. Joe attempted a superplex, but Owens pushed him off and hit a swanton. Got another near fall. Owens then tried to go for the stunner, but Joe avoided it. Got him in the coquina clutch. Owens fought out and hit a pop-up powerbomb, but Elias pulled the referee out of the ring. Elias got into the ring and got in Owens' face. Joe then rolled up Owens, and Elias made a very, very, very fast 3 count. And I think it was Corey Graves. First, Tom Phillips and Byron were all like, well, that was not right. He shouldn't have counted so fast and blah, blah, blah. And Corey Graves was just like, hey, referee's discretion. So then we go backstage. And Daniel Bryan and Rowan enter the locker room. And they're like, everybody out! Everybody out! Except for you, Buddy Murphy. So they sat Buddy Murphy down in a chair. Bryan in front of him, Rowan behind him. And they said, we want you to tell the truth. We know you didn't. Tell everybody the truth. And he was just like, well, what are you talking about? They were like, tell the truth. Bryan said he hates liars, and Rowan attempted to beat down Buddy Murphy. He threw Buddy Murphy across the locker room, threw him into some trash cans. Then they pinned him up against a wall. He's like, tell the truth. Tell everybody you're a liar. And he was just like, okay, I lied. And that was the end of it. So I'm like, so where's this leading to? He lied. Is that not Daniel Bryan and Rowan? It's got to be Daniel Bryan and Rowan, right? No? Maybe? So backstage, Roman Reigns finds some stage guy, and he's like, hey, where's Daniel Bryan in Rowan's dressing room? And he's like, I think it's down that way. So the New Day come down to the ring for their match. Before the match could start, before the Revival even come out, Orton's music hits. Randy Orton came out and said, Kingston can't beat him now. Couldn't beat him 11 years ago, and that's why he did what he did at SummerSlam. Orton said, Kingston ran away from the fight in front of his wife and his 2 sons. And his 2 sons. He said when they grow up, they're going to ask him, why did you run away from the big, bad, scary man? He said Kingston has to look at them right in the eyes and tell them he can't beat Randy Orton. Randy Orton then said, we can do this again. How about right now we make this a 6-man tag? Go to commercial. Right as the Revival are coming out. Come back, and it did turn into a 6-man tag. Orton teased starting the match, but tagged right out quickly to Scott Dawson. New Day had the early advantage, but used several double-team moves. Xavier Woods hit a tilt-a-whirl head scissors and a drop kick for a 2. With that, Woods rolled up Dawson, but Dash Wilder attacked Woods' arm. The heels took over by isolating Woods on their side of the ring and worked over the arm. Dawson tossed Woods to the floor, and Orton gave him a back suplex on the announce table. Back from the break, the heels were still firmly in control of Woods. They cut Woods off from his corner. Woods fought back and sent Dawson into the post. Big E finally got the hot tag and caught Wilder with a belly-to-belly. Followed it up, big splash. Kingston then hit a crossbody on the Revival and hit a boom drop on Wilder. He attempted the Trouble in Paradise, but Orton went for the RKO. Kingston avoided it and tagged back in into Woods. Kingston hit a dive on Randy Orton on the floor. Woods fought off both members of the Revival with one arm. Revival then hit him with a Shatter Machine, though, after they did the feint tag, the blind tag, I guess you can call it, ghost tag. And they pinned Woods. So after the match, the Revival attacked Woods, Big E until Kingston made the save. He had the Trouble in Paradise on the Revival, but Orton hit him with an RKO. Fans chanted, "One more time, one more time." And Orton hit an RKO on Woods. Fans chanted, "One more time, one more time." Then the Revival picked up Big E, and Orton hit an RKO again, this time on Big E. Fans cheered. Orton hit an RKO on Kingston yet again. I think it's pretty obvious where this is going. So Reigns walked into the dressing room of Daniel Bryan and Rowan. He demanded, first Bryan demanded an apology. He said, "You apologize. Buddy Murphy said that he lied. He said it was not Rowan. You apologized to Samoa Joe. Now apologize to Rowan." Bryan pointed out that they will reveal that it wasn't them. They've conducted an investigation, and the culprit will be revealed next week. Well, I don't know what's going on here. Maybe it's Harper, and it is with them, but not with them. Like it was. Here's a wild ass guess. It's Harper, but in it being Harper, he can go, "Well, yeah, it was Harper." But Harper hasn't been seen. Harper's not with us per se, quote unquote, until he really is with it. I don't know. I'm just trying to justify something because now they're running in frickin' circles with this, man. They're just running in circles. But with that was SmackDown Live. I thought it was a pretty good show. Overall, way better than Raw and that Buddy Murphy-Roman Reigns match. If you did not see that Buddy Murphy-Roman Reigns match, boy, howdy. Go back and watch it. Great match. Also, Nick wants me to let everybody in the chat know who used his tombstone F emojis. He's Frankenstein and you're all his monsters for using the emoji. With that, now I want to hear from you guys because it's Tuesday and we're taking some calls. If you do want to call in, you can do so at 559-475-8473. Again, the number to call in is 559-475-8473. If you don't want to call in, you can text in at 510-906-1341. Again, the text number is 510-906-1341. Just looking at the live chat while we get everything loaded here because sometimes Skype likes to load quick. Sometimes Skype likes to load slow. Right now, it's wanting to load slow. Just looking at the live chat. Sinclair Saturday says, "Hey Tim, do you think Sasha Banks' heel turn a payoff her and Becky Lynch on Clash of Champions?" I do. I do think it's going to be her and... Excuse me. I think it is going to be Becky and Sasha at Clash of Champions. Orange Grape Juice says Daniel Bryan was pure fire. Yeah, he was. Absolute, just amazing. In everything he did tonight. All three segments. I don't know, we're talking about George John Cox. I'm Tim, not Nick. Nick is on the Wednesday show. And sometimes the pay-per-view recaps. But I digress. Let's take a call. If it'll answer. There we go. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Tim.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. So you think Harper could be the one attacking Roman?
I don't know. it's just a wild speculation because if they got Buddy Murphy to say I lied, then where's that actually leading to? They roughed him up till he lied, or till he lied about lying. I don't know. I was just throwing out a spitball an idea. I don't know. I don't think.
I know. I was just wondering too.
Right,
I mean, right. How long do you think Kofi or Randy is going to go for?
What I think because those two are really good together, I think they should do the match at Clash of Champions, and then something happens where they do the match again on the first SmackDown on Fox.
Have Randy get the championship on Fox or something, or what?
Maybe, or Kofi wins. Either way, I think that would be a great main event for the first SmackDown on Fox.
And what type of match could you see going after what happened at SummerSlam? Because for me, I was kind of on Randy Orton to win on Sunday.
I think based off what happened in SummerSlam, probably a no DQ or a street fight type thing. Maybe if they want to go that route, that's what I would do, based off of the way the match ended.
And maybe one more question.
Go for it.
Who do you think Bray's going to fight next for the Fiend or whatever? But same thing. But who do you think's next for Bray Wyatt?
I really have no clue. I was surprised we didn't get any kind of tease of him at all this week. I thought maybe we would get a Firefly Funhouse where Bray Wyatt was like, hey, I warned you, don't call out the Fiend. Look what happened to Finn Balor. So we didn't even get that. I thought that would have been a cool thing to do, is a Firefly Funhouse where he was like, I told you guys, this is how bad this man can be, the Fiend. But we didn't get that, so I have no clue.
And I know too. It's probably not possible, but maybe Kane if he returns, or do you think he's doing more of his bear stuff?
Kane ain't coming back. Kane ain't coming back. He was apparently advertised for a couple of shows, and somebody reached out to his office, his mayoral office, and they're like, no, he has nothing scheduled with WWE coming up.
So he's just focusing on doing his mirror stuff?
Yeah, he's the mayor of Knox County. He owns his own insurance company. He's got plenty of things to keep him busy outside of wrestling.
All right, well, thanks, Tim.
Not a problem. Thanks for the call. Have a great night.
Bye.
So, just looking here. This person asked in the text message, just asked the same question. Do you think Bray Wyatt will go after next? And I don't know. That's a tough one. The Finn one kind of made sense because they were supposed to have a match before, so why not have the first Fiend match against Finn? But other than that, I really don't know where we can go next for this. Looking at the chat, if you want to call in, you can do so at 559-475-8473. Again, that number is 559-475-8473. George John Cox says, sorry, I gotta go. Have a good night. Let's take this call here. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Tim.
How's it going?
How'd you like the show?
I thought it was good, better than last night's Raw, and it had two really good matches on the show.
Yeah, I want to talk about, before I get into my other questions, I want to talk about how about that, Cedric Alexander versus Drew McIntyre match. That was a great match, wasn't it?
From Raw, yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. Would you say it's what would you rank this match between the match tonight? Because the match tonight was also very good. But Roman
and Buddy Murphy, I thought was better.
I agree. The other thing is the King of the Ring. Now, who would you have be the finals? I'm thinking Drew and Ali, or Andrade and Cedric.
Now, when they first announced the names, you think it's going to be Raw versus SmackDown in the finals. And when they first announced the name, my first thought was, for Raw, we've got Drew McIntyre. For SmackDown, Kevin Owens. But based off of tonight, I honestly think Shane McMahon could screw Kevin Owens.
I think Kevin Owens is going to get screwed, yeah.
Yeah. So I think based off tonight, Kevin Owens is going to get screwed by Shane somehow. And so when we do look at, the list from SmackDown, the only real name there that I think Buddy Murphy is going to look good in this tournament based off of the match tonight. But I don't know if he would go to the finals. I think if it's not Kevin Owens, which again, now that we've seen what happened on SmackDown, I am leaning more to Kevin Owens getting screwed somehow to not make it to the finals. So maybe Ali versus Drew McIntyre, and then Drew McIntyre goes and wins the whole thing.
All right, so my other question is Seth Rollins. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not really too excited with him versus Braun Strowman. I'm really not. Don't want to see that.
You cut off a little bit. Which one? AJ versus Braun Strowman?
No, Seth Rollins. I don't know about you, but at Clash of Champions, I think that's where they're going. Seth versus Braun, and I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
so who else do you think you can face?
That is what they teased last night. You know, Braun looked at the belt before handing it back over to Seth. And honestly, if the finals of King of the Ring is going to be at Clash of Champions, then I wouldn't go Drew McIntyre because he's going to be in the finals of the King of the Ring, I believe. And who else do you really have? I mean, Braun. Here's the one thing you could do. Somehow, Braun wins the U.S. title next week from AJ, and then AJ goes, I don't want that mid-card title back. I want the Universal title. And then AJ goes after Seth maybe. I don't know. It would be kind of dumb to have a guy lose a championship just to get another championship match against a different champion. So I think the only two routes you got, really, that you've built, it's either Braun or AJ.
Well, remember Joe did that when he lost the title to Ricochet, went to Kofi, so you never know.
You're right there. I didn't think about that. You are correct there.
My other thing is, my last question is Kofi versus Randy. Now, I don't think they should stress this. If I was booking, I would do in 2 weeks, because next week I would have the King of the Ring match main event, just spotlight it. But after that, I would put them in a championship match on SmackDown and maybe have Randy win. I don't want them to stretch it to Hell in a Cell because I think that's what they're gonna do.
Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell's October.
No, I think they're gonna try to stretch the Kofi and Randy feud from there.
I don't think they would. I mean, I think the next match for them is gonna end up being at Clash of Champions in September.
Yeah, I know, but I think after that, after Clash of Champions, they might do another one at Hell in a Cell.
I don't think they're going to wait that long. I mean, I wouldn't go 3 pay-per-views in a row with Kofi and Randy, especially that spread out, because the next 3 pay-per-views, unlike from WrestleMania to SummerSlam when we got a lot of pay-per-views there, it's really everything is spread out now. So I wouldn't stretch it that long.
All right, see ya. Tell Nick I said hi. Are you guys doing calls tomorrow?
Possibly, as you saw, if you were on the show last Wednesday, sometimes Skype doesn't like to take calls when they got me and Nick on together because it's just the new Skype is messed up. So we might try, but no possibilities.
All right, see you.
All right, thanks for the call and have a great night.
You
too. So we can hear in the chat before we take some more calls. Also got a text message. The person here says he would like to see Buddy Murphy versus Cesaro in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. That wouldn't be too bad. This person here says, it's sad that Balor had to go out because he could have come back with the Demon and demand a rematch and now lose again and now on vacation. Well, I wouldn't have him. If he gets a rematch and he's the Demon, he'd have to win. And then what? Bray loses. Let's take a call. Caller in the air, what's going on?
Hey, Sam, how you doing, big man? This is JD.
Pretty good, yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, just working right now. Hey, I hear everybody keeps talking about Bray Wyatt. Why wasn't he there? Why wasn't he there? I think it was good that he wasn't there. I think it was nice, we saw him, this past weekend. Wait another week or two, have him have a Firefly Funhouse. And I think he should only really wrestle, on pay-per-view and say on Monday and Tuesday where he just kind of once, every other week, he'll do his Firefly Funhouse and then challenge somebody. What do you think about that idea?
I think that's a great idea. I think we talked about that recently where I said don't oversaturate the Fiend character and don't have him out there too much, only when he has those big matches.
Yeah, it's funny. I kept hearing people talking about how he should be in King of the Ring. I really don't think he should be in King of the Ring. That'd be oversaturating his ass, just like what you just said.
Yeah, I don't think that character doesn't fit for someone who would want to be in King of the Ring. He's just somebody that Fiend character is, he finds a target, locks on the target, and then wants to kill the target, basically.
You know, I think it's funny as hell that he keeps sticking Aleister Black in the closet. What the hell are they doing with that guy?
I have no clue. And then last week he just ran through Sami Zayn.
Yeah, it made him look like a boob. Almost kind of look like a jobber.
Well, I mean, they always make Sami look like a jobber. He jobbed out to Joe last night.
True that. Hey, man, I wanted to say something about SummerSlam. You know how they were building up Seth Rollins, and then all of a sudden, the last couple of weeks, they made him look like, a little bitch. They wanted us to, be sympathetic towards him and what he's going through. Okay, now, I think it was yesterday he said something along the lines like he was only 40% or 50%, facing Brock Lesnar. Man, that makes Brock Lesnar look like a little bitch. If you only have Seth Rollins at a 40%, 50%, where does Brock Lesnar go from this?
Here's the thing that I didn't like with any of that, where Seth went in there and was like, he said on Monday, he said, I went into that match at SummerSlam and didn't even know if I had enough to beat Brock Lesnar. God, this guy is the same guy that beat Brock Lesnar in less than 3 minutes at WrestleMania. So we're supposed to forget how quickly he beat Brock at WrestleMania?
I know, right?
Like, it just doesn't make sense that he's not confident. When he should be more confident about going against Brock than almost anybody, because that's one of his fastest victories in a big match environment.
I didn't like that angle. I didn't like the way they did it.
Me either.
They made Brock look like a little bitch, and then they, okay, where does Brock go from this?
Yeah, and then it was even worse last night when Paul Heyman basically almost cried on camera when he was like, "Yeah, they told us Brock can't have a rematch. I'm at a loss of words." Like, what?
Okay. All right. Yeah, I thought that was kind of
Usually Heyman would be like, "No, we're gonna figure this out, and Brock's gonna get his rematch." But no, he was just like, "They told me we can't have a rematch. Okay, then." It was weird, just weird.
I know. Okay, let me throw something out at you. With how they did that with Brock.
Uh-huh.
What do you think of him coming back, say, August 4th or October 4th, and pop up on the show on Fox for the very first show and challenges Kofi Kingston?
Now, I think a good main event for that show would be Kofi versus Orton, but if they don't go that route, that would be a cool idea. And I do think, I'm going to say like 90% certainty, they're going to put Brock on that show. Brock is a ratings draw. Usually when they announce Brock ahead of time, ratings do go up a little, so that'll help. I do think that Brock will be on that show, and maybe he can challenge Kofi Kingston. Maybe not on the show, but maybe come out at the end of the show and just beat him down, and then Heyman says that we want the WWE title.
Or possibly lead up to it like a week or two before they go to Fox. Have him challenge Kofi, or say like here's a number one contender match, and Brock wins it and then challenges Kofi. So everybody knows a couple weeks before Brock is going to be on the very first show on Fox. I mean, I think that would be a good idea. I mean, hell, Fox knows Brock. I mean, Brock was in the UFC.
Correct.
UFC used to be on Fox.
Right.
Now it's on ESPN Plus. I kind of suck on that one. But, hey, man, trying to think, what would be a good angle? How do I say this? Trying to think how to say this. What would be a good angle for Chris Jericho to introduce his new, supposedly secret tag team partners? Do you think that he should show them at the event, or do you think they should have them pop up in a week or two before the show? What do you think about that, Big Dog? Let me get back to word JD out, Big Dog.
All right, have a good night. Thanks for the call.
You too, brother. Marky Mark.
I think there's a lot of names floating around as far as who can be the tag team partners for Chris Jericho on that first AEW on TNT show. And honestly, if it's going to be like a big-time tag team, I think maybe a little tease, maybe something on like Being the Elite or Road 2, if we're getting a Road 2 after All Out, I don't know. But something that slightly teases it and makes us think, okay, it could be this team. But I would not announce it until the show. I think Bucks and Omega come out first. Jericho then comes out on the stage, does his little entrance, doesn't get in the ring, and then brings out his partners, whoever that's going to be, whether that's like, I think a good team could be LAX. I think LAX should sign with AEW, and they could be the tag team that goes out there and teams with Chris Jericho. And here's a cool idea. So LAX, this is all kinds of speculation, spitballing. We don't even know if LAX are going to AEW. But LAX shows up as Jericho's partners. Win or lose, it doesn't matter who wins this match. I think this could tease the finals of the AEW Tag Team Title Tournament. I think the finals of the tournament, a great match for the finals, could be the Bucks versus LAX. You can be like, look, these two teams squared off on the first episode of AEW on TNT. And then both teams made it all the way to the finals of the Tag Team Title Tournament. I think that'd be a pretty cool thing to do. I think that would be really cool. But we'll have to see. That's not for a couple more months. Well, month and a half-ish. We'll know. Yeah, almost a month and a half when they do debut on TNT. We still don't know what the actual name is going to be. There has been a trademark filed for AEW Revolution, whether that's the name of the television show or the next pay-per-view. Who knows? Excuse me. Let's check out these text messages. Person here says, if it goes to the Braun Strowman versus Rollins at Clash of Champions, do you see Brock Lesnar taking out Strowman and take his place? No. Person here says, when is the first AEW show? Also, what do you think of Banks as a heel? I think Sasha Banks is way better as a heel than she's ever as a babyface. And the first AEW on TNT is October 2nd. Looking here at the live chat, this person here, Sinclair Saturday, says, is Johnny Gargano coming up next week on the main roster? And also Candice coming up with him? Don't know. His name has been talked about over the last couple of days as a call-up, but we don't know if or when he's coming up. I think if he doesn't show up at the TV tapings on Thursday, then that's going to be a really big indication that he's coming to the main roster sometime soon. And Thursday is going to be a very big night for NXT for two things. A, it's, of course, the TV tapings after TakeOver. We're going to start all the feuds and stuff going forward. But with the rumor of NXT going to Fox Sports 1, it could be announced then, because they're only going to have to film enough episodes to get, if they start in October, they're only going to need to film enough TV to get to that start date on FS1. So we'll see where this goes. Let's take one final call, though. Caller in the air, what's going on?
Hey, Tim, how you doing?
Pretty good, yourself?
Oh, good. So I had a little pitch, not really anything that big, about The Fiend. Maybe he could, face Rey Mysterio.
I don't see that working. I don't see that working, especially with the story they're now trying to tell, where Rey feels down about himself and he needs to just get better to I guess prove something to his family, and putting him with The Fiend.
Wait, when did that start? I didn't watch Raw. Did that start on Raw last night?
So on Raw, Rey Mysterio was beat 2 straight falls by Andrade. Yeah. Afterwards, he was interviewed in the back, and he was just like, this has never happened to me before. I've never been beaten like this before. I need to provide for my family, and now I might be letting them down. I don't know what to say. So I don't think the Fiend thing works with that.
Yeah, no, I didn't know about that. What about The Miz? What do you think, The Miz?
I don't think, to be completely honest, I don't think The Miz and The Fiend would work. Because you need somebody that you're going to beat and then, like we saw with Finn, go away. And I just don't see why there's a reason for Miz to go away right now.
Yeah. Who do you think? Like, any guess? Who do you think?
honestly have no clue. I mean, eventually you would think they have to get to The Fiend versus Aleister Black, but I wouldn't do it this soon.
Yeah, true. Especially, well, they're are they letting go of less and less of the super, like the being able to go on different brands, even though I forgot what it's called.
So
But,
you're talking about the wild card rule. I don't know.
Yeah, the wild card.
I've heard starting in October they're going to slow it down to eventually phase it out. But as we saw tonight, and as we saw last night, we still got Raw and SmackDown people on the
Yeah, New
opposite
Day.
shows. We had the Revival on SmackDown tonight, and with the Revival pinning Xavier Woods, it looks like they could be challenging at Clash of Champions for the tag titles. So I don't know where this goes. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
maybe they phase it out after Clash of Champions going into the switch in October. So maybe this is like the last little iterations of it.
Yeah. Also, one more thing. Who do you think? So I really don't want. Personally, I don't want Randy to win the title because like he's won it so many times. So if Kofi holds on to it, who do you think Kofi will be going? Like who will be facing after Randy?
So if you keep the title on Kofi, you got to look at the heels on SmackDown. And I like what the last caller said to where Brock Lesnar ends up challenging him because you really don't have anybody on SmackDown. So I think maybe Brock's just like, screw it. I can't beat Seth. I'll go after Kofi.
Yeah, one. I'm hoping that I wish they built Andrade a little better, so maybe Andrade but he's not. Is he on Raw? I forgot.
Andrade?
Yeah.
Technically, he's a SmackDown wrestler.
Oh, all right.
So what happened was he was moved to Raw in the Superstar Shakeup. Then a week later, he was moved back to SmackDown.
Oh, all right. One final question.
Go for it.
Where's this Dolph Ziggler storyline going with?
He's going to keep getting wrecked and beat up and screwed.
So do you know like the ultimate goal, like or like to, like
yeah, for him to
final?
Yeah, for him to just keep putting people over. He's just there to get beat.
Yeah, he's pretty much getting buried right now.
I don't know if you can even call it buried. But he's just there to lose, basically.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Tim.
All right, thanks for the call. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
All right, looking at the text messages before we do wrap things up. This person here says, if you get WWE 20, you're talking about 2K20, would you stream it on YouTube? Just curious. I don't know if I'm actually getting 2K20 this year. To be honest, we did do stuff with it the last couple of years here on the channel, but unfortunately, the equipment that I do use to stream games from my PS4 to my laptop here onto YouTube, for some reason it's not working anymore. And with that, also, looking at the numbers of the stuff from last year with WWE 2K19, it seemed like, as far as most of our audience here, wasn't that interested in gameplay footage. And also with YouTube numbers down, it's almost like it's not really worth it for me to buy the game to do stuff here on the YouTube channel where that money can go into other things. So as of right now, I probably will not be even getting 2K20. We will be covering everything leading up, all the different information about the game and stuff. But as it stands right now, it almost doesn't seem likely that I'm going to get it because of those different reasons. A, for some reason my computer will no longer run the equipment needed to capture the footage and stream it here on YouTube. And B, with YouTube numbers and revenue being down, it's almost not financially possible for me to get the game right now. Just saying. But with that, I want to say thank you to everybody who did join us here live to watch me, listen to me talk about SmackDown Live. I also want to thank everybody who listens later right here on YouTube or listens on podcast services all around the world like iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, and more. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited. Follow us on Instagram and follow me at TimmyBuddy. We'll be live again tomorrow for the PW Unlimited Wednesday show. Have a good night, guys. I'll see you live tomorrow.